Yeah, it could be. Again, I never try and like to hit on the in-game leaders too hard because you don't always expect them to be at the higher end of the field. It's just that when you are a team that's getting into the top 20s, when you're looking to try and take tournaments, you can't have players dropping down no matter who it is. So for Bubble, he's going to realize that, and I'm sure going into the second map, he's going to prove a lot of people to say, hey, did have a good performance on map 1, it's time to turn it around into map 2, and even into the pistol round. Look at how much util we're seeing again to come out for Jedka, Marcos, and for Spiro. Fiend are just going to have that single spotter of Red Star to catch some early information in T-Con. They're going to play 4 on B.
Spotting info falling back for Red Star initially. The defuse gets over on Bubble, and he's playing out to the Heaven position, ready for fast rotations into the A site if necessary. Vista's main focus is going to be all on this long presence, and there's only one man to hold off against them. Red Star's completely vacated mid, gone back towards long. No one's watching mid directly. They have those 2 players in short that could play double duty, but if they charge straight up towards mid to the A site, it's going to be a free plant.
You'd have to imagine so. It all just comes down to the information gathering and how quickly these rotates are. Red Star is in a massive off angle at long, exposing himself quite heavy. It all comes down to when that contact finally comes in.
Shots on them, Victor unable to get any kills in. Very little damage done in general, actually. Red Star's tag solo with Victor being dead. He needs backup desperately. The Dreamer gets caught out. Meanwhile, PHO looking for kills in connector. He's found that first. Sparrow does isolate Bubble and overwhelm him the same. We're leaving 2 CTs way away from the site. Caught off by Jedka, knowing exactly where Red Star is. And Han in a 1 versus 5.
There really wasn't much to it from Wisla. They go for a long contact, and they've just got an alert for PHR to deal with some of the B rotations. And Red Star gets goosed immediately. Victor that tries to swing on his contact doesn't find anything. They start getting overwhelmed. Dreamer falls, Bubble falls. Han's the last one, and even getting hunted on a pistol round, which you don't see all that often. Does get away with 1 Heaven kill. Spiro is able to get the trade back. So Wisla looking very comfortable in that pistol round. Good start from them on their map pick.
The opener goes well, and Fiend, well, again, just falling apart in the early part of this map up. If that's a sign of things to come, then further cause for concern, I think, for the team. Fiend losing out heavily towards their own light, and a CT pistol going against them. And the CT sides have been so so important, I think, for both of these teams, especially for the likes of Fiend in the past. Need to see the CT side get going relatively soon. They have got a force buy in. They might have to rely on the gun round, though.
Jedka does make a sight sound cue out to the short position on the boost angle, so that's at least something that Fiend can think about if they want to start spamming through that wood panel. PHR has been pretty much the king with the Galil. He's been really impressive anytime it's in his hand, so watch out for him in this round. He's just lurking into con. Even in the last, he didn't find a massive amount of impact in the pistol. He still kept the rotations at bay.
Doubt shots ringing out, but Goofy finds Red Star regardless, so opening kill for him in this one. And once again, Vista going to gain the man advantage by removing first contact of Red Star immediately. Like, forcing the rotation as well. B-side's completely open. This is going to be a walkout.
Now, you'd have to imagine this is probably going to be an instant save from Fiend, isn't it? They've gamble stacked. It's gone the wrong way. Just hold on to your weapons, bring them into the next round. Wisla, the call is fantastic. It's exactly what they're hoping for.
Ashes going over. Sparrow backed away. AK moving up, ensuring that nobody's out there ahead of water. They will charge up out towards long control. Probably look to spot anybody else, grab that scout. This round will certainly not go their way. There's no contact at all for Vista. They're just swarm the B site. Fiend should know this. And they shouldn't find much in this one. They will save their weapons and Kevlar for the 3rd round, so they will have some basis rather than going straight eco. It'll be a 2-0 for Vista start.
Yeah, it's all about being able to keep pressure on. And for Wisla, they are a team that, even though they haven't found a lot of success recently on Overpass, they still like this map. They still pick it quite a lot. When you have a look at their map pool, it's normally Mirage can come through. It's even seen some Ancient picks from them time to time. Again, you're probably not going to pick Mirage against Fiend, so you're going to go into what else you know best, which is Overpass. And knowing the way that it went down last time, you at least can see by the numbers that it was a victory, even if it was quite close. Fiend, don't count them out into this 3rd round, because really, you can almost look at it as another force buy, can't you? Yeah, there's going to be one player that doesn't have much, but everybody else, it's pretty much forcing again, except not buying.
Well, how many times have we seen force buys or half buys or upgrade pistol rounds or eco rounds go the way of teams so far in this series? Like, so many moments over in that previous round, in the previous map of Inferno. You can imagine that it could still go the way of Fiend in this one. They've got the scout back in. They've got the upgrade pistols across everybody except for Red Star. I don't care about for him either, but the Mac 10 of Jedka catches them looking the wrong way at the right time. So $1,200 gained, 5 on 3 for Wisla.
And that pretty much ends the rounds right there. A couple of opening kills coming for the Mac 10, farming money in. And for Fiend, you were hoping to go for an aggressive play, try and make an info push into the short position, just doesn't happen at all. Sparrow even looking at double entry into this bomb site out to B, they can get this bomb down. Hans hoping for a duel onto Marcos, a chance to be able to get the kill and recover a Galil at best.
Not to be in that one, and I love how we just started off the round by giving a bunch of grandstanding, like, yeah, Fiend can still do this, they'll have a chance, and double kill, and over. So, very quick changing of the tune right there. Did still show that Wisla had the better weapons and the better advantages. Red Star trying to give it the good old college try, but Jedka ends up with his triple. $1,800 on kill bonus. Doesn't opt to upgrade for the scout either. Keep all 5 of their main weapons in. Play this as a bonus round as Fiend will get their first gun round out.
I still am thinking back to that interview that we had for Bubble yesterday, and I think you mentioned it slightly earlier, Jay, that Fiend are pressing for the skies, aren't they? Their goal of reaching top 10 in the world. Well, you're going up against the 66th best team in Wisla, and they're having a difficult time. This is a chance to start putting some more back the way of themselves, get the AWP out for Han. Him and Red Star are going to be playing up to the A site in the early rounds.
Yeah, this would be a major blow for them as well, to lose to Wisla twice in as many weeks.
As a 2-0 as well, if it does happen.
Yeah, this could be very, very dicey stuff for the Fiend side. Maybe they might need to rely on that coach a lot more, not just in terms of making the run for the top 10, but also defending their spot in the top 15. First casualty taken against Victor. Nice nade stacking over at the short boost. Dismantle it immediately, though. Just go for that first pick and continue playing out the default.
Just trying to see if they get baited in a mistake. Han is playing A solo. They're going to rotate Red Star to back up some of the B defenders. And you'd have to imagine, too, for this AWP, he's got to be careful about how far he aggresses forward. Because if he goes too far, they just leave that A-bomb site completely compromised. And even for Red Star, he's going to back up to jump spot APC. Just keep eyes on that long control.
Up with the crack angle, falling back to Divider as well. Need to look into Divider. Let you rotate away from the bathrooms entirely. Get back to the site. Look on long. Sees the utility thrown by Sparrow, the Molotov, and the smoke. Oh, the peek from the AK is just fantastic, though. Perfect shot to the head, accurate as ever. A site's open, and Fiend don't even bother in the rotation. They're just like, yeah, nah, we'll hold on to our weapons once again. 4-0, and we're starting to see the habits produce themselves. Fiend knowing they're just going to keep saving and saving and saving. These rounds are going to keep going the way of Wisla over and over again. 4-0, Fiend stunned in the start of this map.
Yeah, Sparrow, maybe the in-game leader, maybe 30, but my goodness, he's still got it. What a frag that was out from the long position. To peek into an AWPer like that, in that kind of range, it's difficult. You have to hit that immediate headshot. And just, it helps that Jedka obviously is able to get that first pick with the nade stack that went out to that B side. Wisla looking very comfortable in these early stages of Overpass and looking solid like they did in the first map.
Probably the most comfortable we've seen for them so far in this series. And even more picks coming in. Jedka, Mac 10 kill group, comes up with the 8K and PHR gets a Galil frag. All 5 alive again for Wisla. Look at the numbers on the board. There's been 1 kill for Fiend in this entire map so far.
Yeah, kills have not come in easy, and the hunt is just amazing with how much damage can come through, really destroying any chance of a buyback. And now for Fiends, you've got to start wondering to yourself, when is more kills going to get presented? Because that was a lack of some players in the first map, not the whole team.
Right now, if this doesn't change soon, Wisla will just continue to spiral this out of control. And imagine what the numbers would look like if they got another good round in a row here for the Wisla side. Upgrade pistols in the half-buy round, so you can expect this one might not go that great for Fiend. But you're hoping to get something out of this at least. One sort of casualty, a kill, maybe remove the AWP from play if at all possible, force some sort of rebuy back from the T economy. Get something, anything out of this round.
Now, for any of the viewers that was watching the stream yesterday in that Wisla Cinder game in the upper bracket final, remember we went into OT on that map. Wisla started on T side. They got 5 rounds, Jay. That's all they got. It was the comeback in the second half that actually brought it into OT. Knowing that they can press for even further is a good sign going forward. Red Star does get a trade back. Still, though, 1 HP is going to get traded immediately. Goofy even the swing out from long. They've got no idea. Red Star's going to fall incredibly quickly. Even that rotation of Victor probably shouldn't be able to find much at all. Wisla going to find an easy 5th.
Working off Red Star. Might try blind fire against the bomb plum position, or that AK might be tempting to him. 1 HP for it, so keep that weapon in place so they can get some sort of rifle basis out, get some extra money in the bank, as Victor can get a kill onto Jadka. But yeah, Red Star's got the right idea. Save this weapon, unfortunately. PHR has the counter play against him. He'll catch that frag. And Victor will not be allowed a second opportunity at the kill count. So a couple of casualties at least for Fiend. Nothing major done towards Wisla. It's to be 5 out of the start. And guns back out for the CT side.
Wisla putting in some hard yards, whether it be the eco, whether it be the gun round. They're taking every round seriously, which is exactly what you need. And knowing that this is a pressured match, again, the match that gets you into the grand final, it's in the lower bracket. There's a lot riding on this. Wisla putting on a good show. And hey, they've really impressed me. Again, I look back at that last series between Wisla and Fiend, and I think about how long ago it was, getting closer to a month. Fiend didn't really play that well, didn't really play very well in the early couple of games in this event, even though they still qualified for the LAN. And I think to myself of where Fiend are today, and really, this is not what we should be seeing for the Bulgarians.
Yeah, I gave Wisla no chance in this series. I gave him a slight chance, but I didn't give him like as much of a chance of getting anything out more than a map.
Yeah.
I thought that the last upset was a fluke. It's clearly not, given the circumstances that we're seeing ourselves in at the 5-0. It's still not quite a serious win for Wisla just yet, but if this keeps going, then Fiend's best round's going to be snatched away from them. And you're right, they have impressed me as well. Rifles in, the M4's out, the T-side players just playing in the passive defaults, expecting Fiend to try and make some plays. And they will be semi-aggressive in the mid-control, but only ahead of the stairs, not much more than that.
I think what makes it so impressive from them is they're not a team that's very AWP heavy when you compare the pair of what Team Fiend are like. Bubble just trying to jiggle peek out to connector, try and desperately win an opening fight, which just doesn't happen at all. PHR has been able to win a lot of opening duels over the course of this series.
2 HP for him remaining in this round, so it's not ideal. He has got the opening advantage for Wisla Krakow, and the rest of the players can work with that. Starting to lean towards long, smokes down at Monster. Goofy's not going to peek ahead of that. Let them have their map control. The bomb's still out towards Monster. They could still commit to the B side.
And they've got a lurk up in long, which could make a big difference for Sparrow. If he starts making an info play, starts reading what's going on, if they bring that bomb out to Monster back in a connector, they could get caught into the hands of Red Star, so they're just going to commit B instead.
Flashbang against 3 players though, and they just dismantled it. Victor and Dreamer caught AWP upon, desperately flying on towards position. Red Star will get 1 trade out towards connector. Bahan missing his shots, trying a second chance, but no! Goofy's Glock's good enough as Red Star gets caught in the interim, and only 1 kill against PHR, the low HP man of the starting frag. 6-0 for Wisla now.
And just those entries are everything. Dreamer and Victor are trying to play off one another. Dreamer's playing anti-flash, and you think to yourself, they're in decent positions, they're playing close to the monster wall, and they just get rolled. They get absolutely destroyed on that side take. Great position for Wisla to continue to be in. And for Fiend, I just start wondering to myself, when are they going to find their first? It's got to happen at some point.
Does it? I mean, we have seen...
He's jinxed it now. Rip the dream.
There you go. I have aided Fiend to get in their first round. We've already tagged up Jedka to 32 HP. They have got pistols in this one. This might not end up being the most efficient of rounds. Dreamer spotted in the back lines over at Water. Going to draw attention back at the T-side line. Rotations are inbound for Fiend. Dreamer's still trying to hold off as some sort of casualty, and we'll catch Goofy. Look for PHR next, overwhelmed by the AK in the end. Bomb should go down to the site. He's extending a bit too far forward. CT players caught up by Sparrow instead, looking in from Graffiti. Man advantage for Wisla.
You got to imagine they might as well go for it. They're not really losing a lot. Yeah, they've got some armor, they've got some upgraded pistols and the Scout. Give yourself the best chance possible of doing further economical damage and actually looking for exit frags.
AK is backed up at Water and Cubby. 20 seconds remain. Leans in, Jedka sees 1 individual, 2 individuals. Sprays good for the first man. Look back towards heaven as Bell revealed his angle. Gets another good shot into a 2v2. They're going to try go for this, but they haven't got time. They haven't got the kits. They grab that AK instead and just escape with that one weapon. Couldn't get their hands on a second, unfortunately. But they will do some damage, even if it is negligible here, because everybody's on 10k plus. In fact, there's 3 players on 16 grand pre-buy. So a lot of money for this, so the damage will be negligible. The 7-0 still comes in. Fiend, their best sort of hope, their best thumbs up is the fact they've got an AK.
Yeah, honestly, that's still quite a positive end to that last round, to know that you've got 2 players left, you charge in, get an AK, get out of there. They're going to go double AWPs onto Han and Bubble, actually, which you don't see that very often. In-game leader trying to see if he can make something possible. Han going aggressive out to Tinkom, winning out that first fight.
All right, finally, something going right for Fiend. The opening kill against Marcos. Han leads back into a connector, might catch PHR, and now he's feeling it. Took a long time to get going here, but the AWP is locked and loaded. He's found a 5-on-3 for Fiend.
Yeah, just what they're looking in. And even for Han, he's not messing about. He's not going back to the A side to play passive and play the numbers game. He's still aggressing at long. He could find even more.
Triple against the AWP. Ospero, caught looking the wrong way. Hard has just dominated the mid and connector positions. He's going to extend for even more. Check out Birthday Party, not seeing anything out there. T-Con got to be his concern now. Looking over, wraps over, capturing a quadra kill. Han just knows what he's doing, and he's finding every player at the right moments. Goofy leaning in against an AK, might not be catching for it. Han's going to lean out, get his ace. What a round to start off the Fiend, and it all comes off the back of Han.
Some freedom coming through, trying to make that aggressive duel, and as soon as he wins out that first and goes into con, you just start feeling it, don't you? You work with the emotions, you give yourself a 5-on-3. So many of these picks just keep coming back in from him, and for Wisla, every single time he takes a peek, no one's in a position to trade. No one is there to fight off of the teammate to get the pick back.
What a wonderful round for the AWP. And this is going to be a first on the board for Fiend. Can they convert it into a second? The economy for Wisla still fantastic. They can rebuy in this round and the next. Han not quite getting away with as good as an opening frag as they did in the last run. Let's get forced away back out the bathrooms in towards long control, even further out towards long entrance.
And normally we see a lot of double AWPing from Han and Red Star on Overpass playing up to the A site. Now we're still seeing Red Star playing up on A. It's just Bubble taking that AWP over to the B site. I guess that he's trying to see if he can keep a sight line in and an information gathering towards that monster angle. And there it is. That's that first pick being found onto the Lurker of Jedcar.
One man down. AK continues leaning in. It's in the area set as Goofy just keeps his eyes on Han. AWP leaning out towards the mid position, can't see Sparrow, can't see anything as of right now. He's playing in the bathrooms. Marcos is AWP, can get a kill. Red Star responds towards the mid position, and now long is going to be the point of attack here for Wisla. AK's turned around, Red Star's head's caught, AWP undetected. He takes a shot back, again continuing to miss. Han's got to land a kill some point soon. 3-on-3, bombs on site, and should get planted from here.
And no one's coming up from the garbage or bank area. Instead, everyone's coming out to this connector position, so damage can be tried and done onto the bomb planter.
PHR smokes off the long position, going to keep his teammate in contention. They might believe that that angle might be cleared up. The bomb open for bank in a dumpster. The swing can come through. The AWP for Marcos going to wait. Goofy just holding for contact. Further smokes on. AK swing, spray through. Sees the second man as well. Swing out for Victor, caught by Marcos. One man left in Han. 1v3. He gets that first, sees that second, but caught jumping in the middle of the air. It's 8 rounds to the board. Wisla have the half already.
And it just looked just so natural from Wisla in that post plant. They've got the 3v3, they're peeking on each other, they're not really over-facing. Goofy takes that duel and he just doesn't peek again, just falls back, knows that he can play time. Marcos on the edge of that long smoke is able to find impact with the AWP, and just when Fiend are able to get there first, they can't follow up, Jay.
Right back in the driver's seat for the Polish cap. 8-1 still for their favour. And look at the fast plays coming out to the B side. AK straight in. There's Victor with a nade. AWP for Bubble. Struggles to get Jet, but finds it in the end. Flick back on Goofy as well. He's in for the double. Victor holds on to the bomb's position. And Marcos is in a 1 versus 4. His teammates rush out a monster and rush to their demise.
Yeah, there's a few in-game leaders in the Tier 2 scene that do this, and it frustrates me, right? You found so much success with slow, default-heavy stuff. Why are we seeing a rush to come in from Wisla?
Not a bad question, honestly. hard and fast, and now Marcos trying to find some sort of clutch. I don't think Victor heard it, and his TT teammates are starting to lean in towards the crossfire anyway, and they will catch him hard with his frag. Second to the border, Fiend.
Just not being able to trade him. Bubble playing around this pillar position, just finding so many multi-frags, and I guess it could come down to, because you feel as if you've reset the economy line, you're not going to have a crazy amount of nades for the B-site anchors. There's not going to be those incendiaries, so going for a rush play can work out. It's just that they've found so much success doing one thing, they do the complete opposite, the complete reverse going into the next, and they get punished for it. That'll be something to go into the back of their mind now about not doing that again, just narrowly missing that wallbang, and actually Bubble is doing damage through the monster smoke.
And the leg shot on Jedka. Good start in this round. It's not a kill. He won't know he's done that damage just yet. Wisla play passive on the default. This same strategy you mentioned worked out time and time again. So as soon as they try something new, it doesn't work. Right, let's go back to the formula that was finding us so many rounds previously. Won't be able to find a responsive pick. They have done damage to Red Star the same, but it's still the HP advantage for Fiend.
Out to Connector, we haven't really seen much presence. There was that one round where Han got the ace where his second pick was down in Con. Outside of that, they've pretty much just left it open. Allows more lurking to come in from PHR, and for Han, quite passive on the A side to work in with his teammate Red Star holding long.
Seconds timing. Well, this still going to be considered this short control from Victor and Dreamer. Going to be held until the T's have to force them out. Wisla just hard rotating in towards mid control. It's going to have to be the A hit here. It's got Han on the AWP in the back lines to defend. They've got Red Star along with the AK. The AWP's just blind firing, going to give up his angle. What can he get here?
Jeez, it's so slow. They're really running down the clock, and you'd have to imagine this AWP on contact is going to find a connection. No, it's Spiro again onto the AWPer.
Red Star's the linchpin element here. The M4 wrapping in from Dreamer as well, going to try and provide some resistance. Meanwhile, kills coming from Bubble. PHR with his frag 3-on-3. Bomb's got to go down. Sparrow kill on Bubble now and maintain the advantage for Wisla. AK and Victor has other ideas. Red Star's going to get overwhelmed, so it's all on Victor for the 3K clutch. 1v2 versus Marcos and Sparrow. Marcos back behind truck. Sparrow out towards long. Footsteps must be heard. I think Sparrow's turning his attention now. Nades on, that will do damage. It won't get any kills here. Both players at 100 HP. Counter nades back, and eventually the swing for Sparrow to get his quadra to get Wisla the 9th.
Oh, what an incredible round for Sparrow. To peek into the AWP like that, you have to hit the immediate headshot, and the AWP just is not able to find the connection. It's not only that fight though, Jay, it's what happens after that. PHR's cutting off the rotates, Sparrow just holding his ground, winning this fight onto the long player of Red Star, and then just peeking on the contact, working on that position, down into the bomb site, getting Wisla up to 9, and Sparrow, the in-game leader, is topping the boards.
11 frags for him, which isn't too impressive, honestly, when you consider we played out 11 rounds. He is currently being tailgated by his teammates, though, so there's a lot of impact spread out across that board. He is top of the board overall, and it's working for Wisla. A tactical pause called in by them to allow them to allow Fiend to simmer on the idea that they are not having a good game still. Probably even worse than their last map, and I don't see it getting better, honestly, Dweg.
Probably even worse. You have a look at that last one. Wisla started on the T side. They got 6 rounds. They were able to recover in their second half, bring it into OT. They're up to 9, and they could push it for at least double digits.
And there's Han back in with the AWP, though. He's had enough of the shenanigans of the Polish squad. PHR caught first. AK Sparrow has seen player out towards long. Dreamer seen a couple of times, but no good shot position for the AK. And for a bubble, sprays through on Victor, finds Goofy. Sparrow there with a responsive back towards Dreamer, so a 4-on-3 advantage. Favors Fiend, but not for long. They give up the kill towards Marcos. Monster control maintained, smokes back at the CT forces. Jedka's ahead of it, though. Will Victor try for an extensive face? I don't think he will.
I don't get it. I don't know what you want me to say here, Jay. They've got a 5-on-3 and they're pushing short water. What is going on there from Fiend? Why are they pushing with the advantage? And for Han, at least he recovers it. Gets that pick onto the lurk of Sparrow. Now it comes down to really the 2 players close out towards his B side to get something going. Fiend are just making some odd decisions in the mid-round.
That push forward could have cost them the round itself. It is recovered by the AWP in mid. Han getting his second kill. The back of Sparrow hit push forward of the monster of the bathroom's angle. Monster's being smoked off here as Jedka tries to sell some sort of a fake hit. Only one smoke, though. Not a full-blown execution. So Fiend are not looking to hard rotate back. If he gets these 2 kills, though, that could be enough. AWP and Marcos leaning in to fight the AWP of Han. It's all a case of who strikes first, and can they maintain the site itself? Victor hearing footsteps, what an engagement, what a kill, can't see Red Star. Oh, Jedka adjusts fantastically, lightning fast with that flick, and Han's already in heaven. Nated back, the bomb can go down on the A side, the flank's in. He's got no chance of winning this, surely.
No, you can't imagine so. Molly going down, AWP's going to peek forward, he can just get onto the bomb straight away, he doesn't have a kid, Jay.
Not going to tap it. Smoke back. Jedka making a lot of noise. Sees that head. Needs to get his 3k in. He's led to 1 point of health, though. Needs the headshot above all else. Han tapping the bomb again. Takes face. AK wraps the corner and sees him looking the wrong way. Jedka with a 3k. What a round for Wisla.
Just when you think we couldn't see better rounds than Wisla, we get that one right there. What an absolute gift that is from Jedka. 2 incredibly strong picks and just over-peaking beyond imagine. Han doing as much work as possible with that AWP, and Jedka knows he's got to strike. 2 kills go down on that B side, and you feel for Han, Jay, in that situation, because for him, he's got to think about over-rotating. He's trying to defend A, and Jedka gets 2 kills on B. Where's his support?
The second frag was impressive. I think the worst part for Han is the fact he'd legged him to 1 point of health.
Yeah.
Could have tapped him on the back and that would have been enough to get the kill. Sparrow and Goofy overwhelming in the eco basis. Only pistols out for Fiend. We're looking at 11-2. This has got to be... It's like, I have some faith because of how the comeback worked out in the previous map for Fiend.
Yeah.
But that was still at a 10-5. We could be looking down a 13-2 with the way this is going.
Yeah, really could do. Even Marcos spotting out that long player getting to the left-hand side so they know exactly where he is. They beat in further picks, and really, outside of Goofy going down to 16, no damage really does done in that round at all. Wisla up to their 11th. And now I start thinking to myself, we might have a rematch from yesterday, only 2 days after the fact.
Well, Vista would love a second crack at Sinners in a best-of-5 context, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
It's that thing you mentioned as well, by the way, for Fiend. We mentioned earlier how in the last map it was only a couple of players that weren't showing up. In this one, only really Han is having any impact here. Orb set at the edge of the smoke, does catch Goofy, does get that kill to kick things off. AK back in the PHR, looking to trade back on Red Star. Opening up the squeaky door, perhaps looking in towards that short control. He's covered off by the smoke. Bubble desperate to get his AWP involved here.
Red Star may be able to get a decent pick in, deal with that first player, just hold the advantage, don't overpeak at all. And for Wisla, this is the first time in a while that we've seen them really begging for a pick back, and Bubble just overextending for some reason with that AWP. We're seeing so many times where Fiend in 5v4, 5v3s have just constantly made info plays.
Remember, that's how they lost the last round, a 5v3. They pushed up short. Finally, Jedka gets a trade, but there's a responsive Dreamer to grab the bomb's position. Look on Sparrow, and this time the overextension will not get punished, and it will not turn into a round for Fiend. Oh, sorry, for Wisla, I should say. For Fiend, it only will turn towards round, third to the board of the CT side. Not like this, they'll be sweating it too much, though. They can rebuy back in for the last of the half. See if Marcos can dish out any damage. Any kills he gets is going to be rifles taken away from Fiend. They've got no money in spite of their round win.
And Marcos is just hoping for an over-aggressive play, just hoping that he can catch a mistake. But you're probably right. Just picks are going to be the main idea of the game, making a lot of noise up into the short position. So they know exactly where he is. And no point really holding on to it. A lot of cash to come through from the tees. Dreamer finds the angle. Bishop comes out. A triple comes through from Dreamer. And that's going to help build up some of the confidence from him, because he's had a bit of a shocker. Again, you go back to the point. A lot of people haven't really stepped up individually. So that round right there, it would have felt good for Dreamer.
Unlucky with that last miss there for Marcos, but it's not going to affect the economy so much for the T side again. One last round to play in this half. AWP in, AK's rebought back down, of course. Default standards with Han peeking out towards mid-control, this time being counteracted by utility for Marcos. Molotov's in towards connector as Han evades the kill position. It's Bubble that lands one through the smoke on Goofy. That's a good start.
That's something to be happy about. Han pushing very far forward. Now, Marcos is quite deep into that park position. Han might not expect him to be here.
Marcos catches him, back turned. Wrong time, wrong place. The 4-on-4 scenario is Wisla now wrap their way out towards the A site, lean on the defaults here. Very heavy B presence from the CT side, and if Jedka can make enough noise to keep them back here, then that might be enough to win the round outright. Jump phase from the CT that's out there. Red Star didn't see Marcos. The flashbang doesn't catch him either, and he rotates to trade places with Victor, I think.
Yeah, Visser have got plenty of options. Dreamer is actually making a pretty nice play, getting into the back. Surely PHR just does not expect this play at all.
Could be info for Jedka here. Smokes on. Ooh, engagement up towards that connector control. Dreamer will get that one frag at WP for Marcos. Meanwhile, focusing entirely on the defensive line. Victor with his frag. Dreamer making a lot of noise. Can PHR catch him still? Backed up. AWP firing for Marcos. Gets 2 kills. Dreamer spotted now. They have info if they can find the last player in the backline's bubble. Suppressed in at bank. Nades up, 20 seconds. Bomb out in the open. The AWP looking to engage at close range. PHR's got across for that. Bomb spray goes awry. And now Marcos, center of the site. 12 seconds, they know it. Jump out, grab that bomb. Flashes go over. Got to secure that bomb plant soon. Out in the open, perhaps towards dumpster, over at truck. 4 seconds, he will secure it in time. No, he won't. Bubble comes in quickly to deny the plant, deny the round, and get a 4th one on the board for Fiend. Vista still dominant on their T side, though. Their second map could still go to their way after the break.
Wisla Krakow, Jay, just had so much positivity and energy on the server, and they've not only proved it in that map right there, but they've also proved it in the last one. Going 11-4 up into the second half, you'd have to imagine if this pistol round goes the way that it did on the last map, we could be just seeing the signs of them just getting closer and closer to 16. That util coming out for PHR. Over on the T side, we've got some for Dreamer and for Bubble. Fiend, this is like the last chance of getting back into this game.
They're taking as much time as possible in the half-time to probably go over themselves and figure out what the hell they do from here. They found this first pick in the pistol at least. Red Star bolstered with the Raid Boss P250, picking up Jedka in the mid-control. As they start off for the T side, will it turn into a round? Will it turn into a comeback? I guess they got 2 rounds at the end of the last half, so maybe it could turn into a comeback if things continue down this route. Minute and 15 to continue action here for Fiend, and Marcos is just holding back a divider.
It's very quiet to come in from Fiend, and for Marcos, he probably needs to be as passive as possible to deal with this kind of setup. Getting a multi-frag in the bathroom is going to be difficult when so many players are peeking. He's actually lucky to get away with one.
And that instant calls in the rotations here. The smokes up will get there just in time for the T to suppress the Wisla retake here. They've got no kits. They've got a flashback in HE for PHR. At least the bomb will go down. Red Star, close contact Bubble. Thanks that nade to the face. Red Star will see Sparrow, catches headshot. PHR responds on towards him at least, brings it back to a 3-on-2. But it's still a 3-on-2 with the CT suppressed from the site, and advantage for Fiend. Hahn makes it now all to one of PHR. Trying to bait in the T-side players, get that one good frag onto Red Star, but Dreamers very quickly with a crossfire lands that headshot. And indeed, the pistol will go the way of Fiend.
An important triple to come in from Red Star, just being able to get the contact, get the trade onto Marcos, and then just try and cut the rotations off as quickly as possible. PHR is still trying to set up some util to get that retake in, and he's just getting pushed on by absolutely everywhere. 5th on the board in from Fiend. This force buy, though, could still have a lot of promise behind it. I look back to that eco round that we saw about round 8 on the first map when Sparrow had the scout. He was doing some damn good damage with it.
Wisla up on the scouts here with the 2 players buying into them. The Eagles on the other 3 individuals. Fiend. Scout shots against Bubble will kick things off on the right foot for Wisla. Damage being done. Marcos waiting for more contact in mid. You're going to see those smokes at least. And know that they're out there. They might be in for a rotation. And with the mid control that could be crossfired by PHR and Jedka, they could find the right setup for this.
If they get out of short water from Con, they have to receive a flash. They can't just peek in dry. Jedka gonna try and see if he can even boost up, deals with that first pick, and the trade's just not even there. Victor's peek's in too slow.
Might not be ready for PHR to be so close. Mac 10 in, spray through, does come up against Jedka in the end of a 4 versus 4. Meanwhile, the team main force has crossed past him and gone towards Monster on the site itself. 3 other CTs out from Heaven and Graffiti. The bomb should go down. PHR does find Victor, and now an automatic weapon to work with on the retake here. The bomb has been planted in the interim. Bubble is extremely low back here at the ahead of wood position. PHR back at short. Hahn on the counter flat. Matt 10's going to take the face in. Shoulder bait. Does hear that shot coming in, so he knows that he could be coming into the backlines, but rotations are being found. Red Star picks up Goofy. Back to evens. We go again. And Bubble's still ahead of them at water. Wraparounds in from the Mac 10. Does find Hahn. Look for Red Star as well. Do a lot of damage. Potential still in this round here for Wisla, but the times tick way too far. There are no kits in play, so they go back to save their scouts. Marcos going to stick around and get an exit frag. Won't be gifted any, unfortunately, as Fiend will walk away with 6.
I'm very surprised with the way that Wisla played that retake. They weren't really eager, were they? They were kind of hanging around, waiting for an opportunity to present itself, maybe hoping that PHR was going to find a lot of impact on that backstab out from Monster. The 2 scout players, they never got into the side. They never pushed forward into an aggressive move.
Only this Mac 10 had found the kill back on a second player at Monster, then that probably would have been the indication for all players of Wisla to converge into the site. Happy to do the damage to the Fiend side, though. The economy is going to get wrecked from here on out, and if they can keep the hurt up, then that will just continue down that way. AKs, Galils, UMP, Mac 10, good shot for Sparrow, connects on one player of Red Star. Tagged up to 30. Nice start again.
And it's all about just trying to keep the economy as low as possible for the T's. Fiend trying to take some of this connector control. Still having quite a lot of emphasis to lean back over to this B side. There are 3 CTs here and waiting, and PHR, nice little jump out, sees the info and even hits that shot. That is not an easy one at all.
That's an even smaller window than the CT jump. Big shot on the Deagle. That starts things off with damage done to Red Star as well. Mac 10 in, but Dreamer sees what's going on. Conversion in by Goofy. Great timing for him on the peak. Flashbang over Bubbles. Completely blind. Jedka's turned the P250 towards him. Harn can find one responsive, but Red Star falls in turn. Harn with a second kill. Needs to get 3 more for the ace. And Marcos says, not today, my friend. A steal round from Wisla on their eco.
Yeah, nothing worse than getting eco. Jeez, what a fight this is for PHR to win. And even for Dreamer, he's moving out. There's util to work with. Bubbles got a smoker, HE, and a flash. Uses none of it out of that monster position. And where does Dreamer fight? He's got to deal with toxic barrels, pillar, ramp, out to the pit angle. There's so many positions on the fight, or on the space of the site to fight with. He's just got no support with any utility.
Rifles forced in by Fiend on 2 individuals, so they kind of don't have a choice now. Awkward crossfire from Marcos and co. Bubbles got to get counteracted indeed. Marcos will get that frag and now call it in for his teammate to adjust back from connector. Dreamer started to walk out towards short entrance. They could wrap in against that AK, deal with him at the CT basis. Indeed, Harn will find that frag, so it's a 4v4 for Fiend.
Now, Sparrow just trying to keep eyes on from the top and the bottom of connector, just in case there is any one of those T-side players which overexposed. Dreamer getting very close to falling, and you'd have to imagine for him, there's not much left in the round, so just try and hold the rotates and sell the fake is the best that he can do from here.
Looking away from connector at the wrong timing. He's so focused on top con and the mid control. Incendiaries go back. Could still catch Dreamer again. He's such low HP that it'll be easy enough to find those frags. Deagle in, M4 will go unchecked. Okay, it is going to go checked. Bit hesitation there from the part of Sparrow. Goofy falls in turn. Now Sparrow can wrap in against him. With his teammates also coming in from connector. Red Star and AK in his hands got to win this fight, and Sparrow's not ready for him in bathroom, so advantage for Fiend now.
I don't know if they go for this, honestly. It might just be better to back off and save, even with the money state not being fantastic. 2v3, this is really going to take some doing.
Bomb plant bonus for Fiend as well, so they're not really going to find a reset here on the part of Wisla. Now with PHR falling, Jedka's like, I'll just grab the AK save. A 7th for Fiend, the comeback is most certainly on now.
Yeah, that one hole there is just the response after being ecoed in a really great way. We see some important entries coming in. Red Star finding some impact with those couple of kills, and even for Sparrow, he's hoping that that banana angle on A is being held better. He is the con player in that entire situation. He deals with Dreamer. He's able to find impact. He needs more assistance. He can't be the one to run up in con and try and get into the backlines because it's just being watched. Wisla all got off to this perfect start. I guess for Marcos too, he kind of got caught, didn't he? Because he was so aggressive and he didn't have another teammate to peek off him. Once he finds that first pick, he can't really do much after that fact.
Fiend now within 5 of the Wisla lead. Wisla only finding 1 so far on CT side. It's kind of surprising, actually. I thought the CT halves were going to be everything to these 2 teams, but apparently the attacking halves that have worked better. AK and M4 trading blows out of connector. PHR looking for info. He's spotted one man. He's trying to get those shots in, but very little damage has been done to the T-side line. Same could be said to the CT side, and these 2 players that are going for the wallbang attempts is the AWP and Marcos that was tagged up early. He's the only man to receive damage.
Yeah, Fiend's not really taking many fights in connector at all. PHR just jiggle peeking, or at least jump spotting, and then as soon as he sees a pixel, he'll start spamming forward. Could see a counter boost. Dreamer could get red on this.
Or not. Eventually, PHR gets his dink on, but he loses his teammate without getting the trade frag. So Dreamer, alive at 3 HP, has probably not got much left in the round, but it's still a 5-on-4 for Fiend.
It just shows how important getting that boost up is to getting a quick pick. Because for Dreamer, if he waits around any longer, he's a dead man. Deals with that toxic barrels angle, gives the opening man advantage in, and Marcos with the AWP has to deliver.
Set ready. Pretty gap to watch, but he gets Victor anyway. Great shot. Now going to back off, wait for backup. He's still watching Divider in for another good kill on Harn, or Perhaps Dreamer hearing those footsteps, lines up a second, sees where Han's coming from. AWP flick, not quite good enough for the triple. He's got it to a 3v3 though. HP advantage for Fiend still. 20 seconds, the bomb yet to get planted. He could counteract on the rotations. PHR does find Han, drop that bomb. Red Star now known in the center of the site, counteracted by Sparrow. He gets that kill anyway. 10 seconds. Second player rotating off a bubble, but Red Star gets his kill back. PHR drop the bomb. 5 seconds, got to stay alive. He knows Bubble hasn't got time. If he stays at bank, he's won this round, and that's exactly what he'll do. A 13th for Wisla by the timer set alone.
Jeez, that was risky. It really was to white-face like they did. And sometimes, Jay, you have to make those plays. Those high-risk, high-reward. Marcos with the AWP did as much as he can. Gets away with a couple of kills. Yeah, it's not quite that triple. You've got a lot of players up on A. And Red Star, with this lurk, it looked as if it would find more impact than it really did. 2v2 situation. They swing out again. PHR is able to win the 1 versus 2 just off a time alone. And we start going back and forth for these last, 4 rounds in a row now between the two.
Time out taken, tactical in nature for Wisla. Knowing that they stole that round essentially, probably had no right to win it. And now they've got to think about how they go forward from here. Can they follow it up? I think they kind of need to follow it up, honestly. 3 rounds to go, and they still have a chance to reset Fiend. If they do that right here, it's match point at least, maybe even the match victory itself. A lot on the line for Wisla Krakow. And they could find so much for their transgressions.
Dreamer swinging out. Oh, perfect timing onto that connector play. Not enough opportunity for Sparrow to swing. What's he going to do? Fight with the XM long range? There's just no way that he can counteract that.
AWP leans up. Red Star. Eagle versus Sparrow's M4 and the scout out for Marcos. The first frag found on PHR is a dart out for the T-side line. Slightly better weaponry, so you can expect it. Minute and 10. Where did Fiend play with this?
You just work with the information you've already got. You got the pick out into the connector position, start slowing it down, make a way out from that long default, and even Sparrow just overextends, doesn't quite jiggle, swings out wide, and this is going to be the A take, taken with ease, you'd have to imagine.
Scout shot missing on the tag. Nades back to try to suppress them. They're baited in that utility though, so it doesn't have any impact against Fiend. Marcos got to land 3 perfect headshots if he wants to hold any defensive right here. Does get bubbled, at least that's 1. Turn away against the smokes here. Got Jedka also up on the site. Deagle's facing. Jedka gets involved. Overwhelmed by Victor. 3 versus 2. Scout still looking for the headshot. Not able to hold off on Han. Indeed, it will be 8 rounds for Fiend. Back within 5 of Wisla. And probably not much in the buyout for the CT side. Might have to be an eco or a half buy at best.
And that's a misplay in the early advantage, or at least the early setup there for Wisla. I don't mind getting aggressive in con and moving out to short water. First of all, you need to re-smoke connector and you need a flash over the top. And in that one right there, it shows you why that's a necessity. Because if you don't have it, you're going to get picked off by timing. Dreamer swings out, it's dry, it's an easy advantage, and Sparrow's got no way to peek that kind of range with the shotgun. Has to just let them hold the advantage. And for Fiends, they're going up against a force buy because double eco status, we have got back and forth for so many rounds.
I thought they might want to save their economy. I misread the lost bonus status. You're right. The Eagle's out. Force issue. Eco in the next. It could still win this round, which would throw the entire game plan off for Fiend, but the main objective is to get to that 10th. Dreamer is going to get naded out first, so the stacks do work out for the utility they have. An opening start. Is that going to spiral out of control?
They've still got 2 smokes to re-smoke that monster position, and that could stall for quite a bit of time. Fiend are going B. There is no way they're going to cancel on this. They're going to be running straight into the stack. There is 1 player at least moving away for PHR.
Mac 10 and Bubble leaning in first and foremost. Goofy waiting at the end of the smoke. Marcos getting tagged up initially. Back out. All those nades do a ton of damage, and Victor gets that kill. PHR 1 responsive. Marcos dead on the site to a nade. 3 on 3. Deagle spam, but Jacob doesn't do much. Going to get ahead of the Molotov. See where Red Star is. Catch that bomb planter. And now it leads to 2 on Fiend. Han's looking up with the AWP. PHR can't overextend. He is seen there by Victor with a flag on. The flanking from Jedka though. Catches the bomb planter again. It's all on the AWP behind. 1v2. No inroad. The second man does fight on Jedka. Does win it out. And now Sparrow's got an AK in hand, takes a spray, but gives up his angle to allow Han to hold the clutch. A lot of damage done to Fiend, but Wisla are down to eco.
Excellent clutch coming through there for Hard, and Vespero had many different ways of playing that. Could have played it passive, wait for that bomb to go down, wants to try and make it quite chaotic. You can see the way that Jedka is continuing to do damage on the side. Hard's low on time, has to face forward, and just jiggle peaks even before he has that information of where Spero is out from. That is a round that is so needed from Fiend that they don't just get reset, and then it finally ends the streak of the back and forthness.
Eco set pistols. Vista should enable Fiend to get to those double digits again within 3 of the lead. Off the back of this round win. The Eagles just set themselves up. Sparrow with one of the only 2 upgrade pistols that they have on Marcos, the P250. And all the CT sit pretty, hoping that Sparrow can get something out of this. A kill would be nice. Unlikely. It does go the way of Harm, though. Seeing where Victor is at as well. Reposition, reface, flashbang over. We'll catch him to 4v4.
Yeah, shame really, because he's the only player that's got much upgrade going into this eco, so you really want him to try and get as much out of that round as possible. They can try gamble stacking up the A site again, hoping just with the mass amount of players that more damage can come in. For Fiend, though, there shouldn't be too many struggles with this kind of a buy.
No, not really. Again, pistols v rifles, and not many upgrade pistols at that. 3 USPs in. Molotovs at the ready. T-side make their moves up. USPs in the back of the site. No one's watching long, so Marcos is a dead man walking. 2 more kills in with Victor and Red Star. PHR does get another good kill. And another good kill, actually. That's 3 casualties taken on the T-side line. And that might impact the economy a bit more than what we might be expecting. Vista will have their buy up. Let's have a look when the float value is like for Fiend, because if they don't have enough cash to rebuy and they don't get a bomb plant, then they could be in trouble.
Yeah, they could be. It all just comes down to the follow-up now. Yeah, it's nice to be able to get a few picks on the eco. What are you going to do in the next round? Because here, yeah, the float does look low for what? Victor, Han, Bubble, Red Star's got some sort of safety. Dreamers definitely do so. You have to imagine for Vizsla just trying to see if they can keep that pressure on. Han thinking about an AWP v AWP duel down to this divided position. Marcos actually losing that first fight onto Victor.
That's all important as well. Fiend, advantage gained. Vizsla need to try and pick apart this entire round without losing many casualties. The rebuy on any one of these individuals is going to be so harsh with no money in the bank either. Round win and confident at that. Red Star seeing Sparrow. Oh, reface from the CT player. I don't know why he thought that would be a good idea. Executed immediately. 5-on-3 now for the Fiend side.
PHR pushing forward, maybe able to drop that bomb, but this is just all falling apart. Picks not being found at all. Vizslas, their best bet is just to back off and save. They're actually going to try and put themselves in position to go for it.
Bubble with a kill on Goofy. It's left to one of Jedka. Does get that 1 frag again, trying to get the exits on the way back out of this. Save the M4 if possible. It's not possible though. 11 for Fiend. And there's got to be a tactical pause here for Vizsla soon. Maybe when the next set of rifles come out, because they are letting this lead go so far away. It's much like how we talked about over on Inferno with the 8-round lead that they had over on that map, and this time it was a what was it? 7-round lead at the turn of the half.
Well, it was 11-2, wasn't it? I mean, there was a couple of rounds to make it 11-4, so you can put it in the perspective of, okay, it was 7 rounds at the half. It was 9 rounds overall in the lead.
Got to be improved. Be changed real quick here by the likes of Vizsla. They've got pistols out for this round. They've got enough money to float a buy in the next one, though. Stack out towards long. Could, in theory, catch Red Star if he's not quite concentrating. This should be Fiend's 12th. This should be them lagging behind by 1. Sparrow's Deagle. Yep, Molotov away from connected. They know he's there, but they can't get a kill on him yet.
Yeah, Red Star's playing so passive, they might be able to 1-for-1 trade him, and actually Red Star doesn't find anything. That gives pretty much all the information forward for Fiend of, okay, there was a comp player, there's a lot out from T-Con, let's just bring that bomb into B.
Oh, might be in danger though. Jedka trying to catch him. Smoke goes down. He just defends himself. Or does he? No, the smoke doesn't actually bloom in time. Jedka's going to give chase. He's going to try capture the flashbang's great to assist there for the Fiend side. Better to expend so much utility to try to get that bomb out of harm's way. Sparrow will fall. Victor's going to get a kill on Goofy. The pistol trying to force forward. Unfortunately, it seems like it will go awry from here for Vizsla Krakow. Good effort though. The chase was fantastic, but it wasn't to be.
Was it fantastic, Jay? They didn't find anything. The timing was off. They needed more players. They needed more behind that, and they just struggled to even deal with that crossfire. Fiend adapt to that incredibly well. They realized that Han's in trouble, and then before Han is just able to walk into Monster and get overexposed, you've got players all around. Fiend are able to bring more entities into that outside of Monster position, get themselves up, and Wisla, you bang on the money. This is very similar to how it was in the last map, where they had a massive lead, they kind of bottled it, they did close it out at least. I'm wondering to myself, are we going to have a repeat?
Could well do. Nades on. Jump face from PHR, expecting the T-side players to be there on short. Still no tactical call in for Wisla. I would have thought this kind of freeze time would have been the perfect time to do so. They've opted against that and are playing out their defaults. They've done damage initially. Red Star and Bubble tagged up heavy. Wait back on their defaults, continue to spam through walls.
And they've just got to try and find some impact with Marcos, because he was very consistent in the first half. He hasn't quite found that same level of form in the second. PHR putting a molly down to that boost position, flash over the top to jump over with it, just kind of see what's going on. Doesn't see anything for the moment.
$50 seconds. Further utility, further counter smokes back here at Monster. The Wisla side is suppressing Fiend, but they're not even in Monster. They're in Connector. That's the closest angle. Meanwhile, mid control being taken. Sprays continue for Jedko. Looking to try and catch Dreamer. He's going to be way too late to the mark on that one. Marcos needs that frag behind just that little bit quicker.
And now they can start storming into the A site. They've only got one defender of Sparrow to try and work with. Rotations are still taking a while. 20 seconds left on the clock. It's got to come down to the entries, and for Victor, he's out into the open. Doesn't even know about Sparrow truck.
He's not going to reveal himself just yet. Not like it matters. His teammates are going to fall apart. Sparrow gets the trades involved. Trades it back to 1 man versus 2. But Sparrow's going to burn. Goofy switching out to the pistol at the wrong time. Han gets his double again. Clutches it. Wisla's best chance to shut down Fiend at last. Ripped out of their hands on the A site.
He could have just played time there. He could have just backed off and instead just panicking in that 2v1 situation. And look at this recovery. This is a 2v5 to come through. Goofy and Sparrow do so much. Sparrow's trying to get back from the flames. And for Han, I don't know how quickly it would have been when he sort of sees that opposition move away, get back over the bomb and get it plundered. He might not have even got it down in time.
I don't think he would have done. I don't think the time was there for him. Wisla about to lose their lead. Pistols in. SMGs and scouts out. Fiends really come back into their own in this T-side half, and it's Victor that finds Marcos to kick things off.
Every pick is a huge blow to Wisla in this round. Han just waiting for a jiggle, waiting for an overextension out from this Monster position. And I can't believe we're at a tied up scoreline, and we're actually in a case that Fiend are looking to take a lead.
AK watching a bubbles. Dreamer just finds Jedka nice and easy for the wallbang spray. 5-on-3 gained. Nades up to 1 player standing, and Sparrow all the way back in the A site. And nothing that he can do with this. Where is the tactical for Wisla? Why aren't they calling any pauses? They have choked this one so hard. So hard. They need to take a tactical. They need to find some sort of mental reset, else Fiend are going to have this.
I think this could have been one of the easiest 2-0s that Wisla have had in the last few months.
11-2.
Well, not even that. You even think about the first map, right? They're up 13-5. That could have been so much more one-sided than what it actually was. Then you look back here at Overpass, you're up by 9 rounds, 11-2. And now Fiend have got a lead at 14-13. Wild stuff.
Bulgaria reigns supreme once again here on Overpass. Wisla, please call a tactical. Just for the love of sanity, take it now. I'm at the bargaining stage of grief now. Like, that's where we're at. Please take a tactical. Please.
I don't think it's going to happen, Jay. See you later.
No, it's not going to happen, for God's sake.
No. Rip in. DM, what's his name? Sparrow right now. Mate, take attack! What's going on? I can't believe they haven't taken a tactical. And, hey, that mental reset is probably bugging them, and they're just not being able to get away back into it. Fiend expecting aggression, Bubble winning out that first fight to PHR. It just feels as if these last 7, 8, 9 rounds or so many opening man advantages have been found by Fiend.
Minute and 20. PHR first to fall. Sprays through the M4s, blind past the smokes, hoping. Catch some sort of cheeky frag or tag or information and force the T-side players to make a mistake. None of that's coming true though. It's passive from Fiend. They don't need to extend. They're just good to sit and wait and go for the hit when they're ready.
And this has got to be the change of mindset too from Fiend. Just the way that they were playing these kind of advantages in the first half is so different to how cautiously they're playing them in the second. I have to wonder where they're going to end up. Surely it's got to be the B site. And for Jedka and Goofy, they don't have any nades between them to work with.
Works on, 20 seconds. Goofy right up in the monster pipe. Can he suppress the 3 T-side players that are out here? Triple bang, crossfire, great flash in. They're blinded. The smoke fades, but he can't get even a kill. Jedka could try and follow it up. Look at the damage being done. The scout with Sparrow, desperate to get something. Will find Red Star. 4 seconds. Bomb. Could be the knife. They can find Bubble in the midst of the smoke. They can't quite do it. A knife even comes in for Han. Down to the last few seconds. And Marcos just left for dead here. It's map point for Fiend.
He was so slow to rotate, Marcos. I guess they just think to themselves, we're not going to win this round, so just hold on to the AWP. And Fiend have got so much money that you go hunting, you try and see if you can trade him. AWP needs to multi-frag. Oh, needs to get this kill. Surely they're going to put some more pressure, now even from behind. And the AWP falls. 15 coming through from Fiend. Wisla, they just don't have the money. They don't have much to work with going into the next. What a recovery this has been from Fiend.
I don't know what to say anymore, man. Sparrow was even rocking a scout in that round. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, just the funds just aren't there.
Be the high roller had 3 grand leaving that round. I imagine he'll be the main rifler here. He'll grab the AWP, but look at what's there to back it up. 3 for Masters, 1 SMG. I call it here, Dwayne. I think we're done.
Yeah, you might be right. You have a look at what is being brought in to this next. Even Sparrow's going to take the AWP over Marcos to try and see if they can find some impact with it. And look out on that long control. Fiend haven't even really been putting many players up to that long position at all. And slowly but surely, this comeback has just been starting to come in. So many rounds in a row. It's got to be 8, I think, on the trot here for the Bulgarians.
The 13-7. So that's about right. I think that was the last time Vista were able to win that round. That eco they stole away from Fiend. And now the charge in. PHR does find at least 1 frag. Can he get any more out of this? No. Victor trades back. Sparrow with the jump facing C in the shadows. Only catches Victor in the back of the site. Red Star turns it to 3-on-3. Fiend now have the A side, but they're rotating back towards B because they know it's open. Connector's clear. It's going to be a plant, and Vista think it's going to be all the A site. They have no idea.
Even Bubble's been able to push up so aggressively, so could just try and cut the rotates. At Vista, they just don't know. It's going to take them so long to get back into the bomb site. And without a lot of retaking nades and a kit, this just gets so much more difficult in this 3v3 to work with. And knowing that they came through from Con and they're not hearing any footsteps, and they've got that player Red Star, they know that everyone has to come from Heaven or Graffiti.
They're taking so long to rotate. Thinking there might still be some sort of A play, but 25 seconds. 15, honestly, to get towards the bomb site. Shots from the AWP ringing out. Smokes down. Incendiary set. Bubble waiting back at jungle. Not being checked at all by Wisla. They'll have the side with the tease of the crossfire to deny. Han with 1 pick. Back from the defuse for Goofy. Sticking it in the midst of the smoke. The bullets flying all over the place. And it's only a matter of time before enough connect for Fiend to find 16-13 from the 13-7 down. They bring the comeback in. 9 in a row to take us to a 3rd map.